I've just completed crocheting this daisy square blanket which I made for my nephew and his wife's firstborn. I love making daisy squares, and I have a video at the end which I've linked which shows you how I joined these daisy squares. The fun part of making this blanket is the edging, and here you can get creative and personalize it to the person you're gifting. Often I'll make a simple 2 or 3 row edging, which then doesn't distract from the blanket. In this case, I've made quite a decorative 6 row edging in a lace pattern, which I thought was appropriate for the little baby girl. My name is Lindy, and thank you for joining my channel. Welcome or welcome back. So these are the yarns I used to crochet the daisy square blanket. I chose to use this lilac color for the edging, but any of these colors would look equally beautiful. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you step by step how I crocheted this lace edging, and it just might be what you've been looking for that special project of yours. So let's begin crocheting this lace edging for your blanket. Here is our completed baby's daisy square blanket. We have made it 7 squares by 9 squares. I'm now going to make a nice lacy edge to give it a lovely, gentle, delicate border. I'm going to be using a darning needle. I'm going to need some scissors, and I'm using the yarn which I have used predominantly for this blanket, the edging of the daisy square. I used a 3.5mm crochet hook to make these daisy squares, but I'm going to go down to a 3 because when I'm doing the edging I want it to be slightly finer. So let's begin. Put this all away. You can see the blanket as it is here. It's 7 squares by 9 squares. So when we make this blanket, we work from the corner. And what is really nice about it is we're working in the round, which means we're always facing the front of the work. So we're always working on the right side. We all like to start different ways. I'm going to show you how I start. I like to start on the corner. I like to do the complete corner. So when I get to the end of this round, I just slip stitch to the corner. So every row starts with a number of chain stitches. They vary depending on the stitch we're using for the round, and they all finish with a slip stitch. So the way I begin, and if you've watched me before, I don't like to make a knot. So I hold my yarn like this, and I go into the corner and I slip it through. Here is my yarn, which I'm now going to weave back in as I work this row, or you can darn it. I now begin with 3 chain stitches, which is the first of our double crochet. We then make a double crochet into the corner, and with this smaller hook it is a little more challenging, but the outcome is going to be nicer. Give this a little tight pull, just straighten up the stitches. We then make 2 chain stitches on the corner to link the next 2 double crochets. So here is our first corner, which has 2 double crochets. The one is 3 chains, and then 2 chain stitches and 2 double crochets. We're now going to continue in this entire round with double crochets, and we're going to go into every one of these stitches that we've created at the end of our border. Everybody will have a different border, so you'll decide as to whether you're going to go into each, you're going to skip, whatever suits you. And this is why I've actually chosen the smaller crochet hook, because if I were to do it in the 3.5, it would make it a little bit tight here. So we're going to go into each of these stitches, and we've got 3 along here. So here's the first one. Into the second one. And then into the space. So that's the beginning of how it's going to look. Give this a little pull, and I do prefer those stitches because they're sitting flat. It's a little more difficult working with a smaller crochet hook with the same yarn, but I think the outcome is going to be flatter. So we continue down this row into each stitch. And into each space. And I just want to go a little way on to show you how I work the two granny squares connecting. Remember, we're creating stitches for the future rows, so it's very important that they are all even. When we get to where the two granny squares or my two daisy squares have been joined, we need to be even so we don't have gaps. So I'm going to do one into each of these spaces, and then I'm going to do two into that. So we go into this space, and then we go into this stitch here, and then we go into this one here, and back into that gap at the edge. So let's just look at that. So that is working nice and flat. We've got our corner, and then we've got double crochet all along here, picking up every stitch. And just to show you, at this join, if I put just one, you would have too much of a gap on each side. So I've put 2 stitches there. So I'm going to continue all the way along here. You can see it's quite a bit of length. And when I get to the corner, again, I'm going to do 2 double crochets with 2 chains and 2 double crochets, and I'll meet you there. We are now about to complete the next corner, and we're just continuing with double crochet. It is important to keep this even and flat because this is the foundation of your lace edging. We now go into this space, and we're going to do 3 double crochets along this cluster stitch, we're going to go straight into the corner, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then we're going to do 2 chain stitches to give it a top edging, and 2 more double crochets. And straight into the next double crochet. So there's one corner. Here's another corner. You can see the pattern forming. And here is our first corner. So I'm going to continue, and when I get to the end, I'm going to show you how I slip stitch to close off this first round. Here we are at the end of round 1, and you can see we've completed this corner. 3 chain stitches, 1 double crochet, 2 chain stitches, 2 double crochets. So now we just have to complete this round. that is the last stitch, and this is our corner. We're going to go into this first stitch here, which, if you can see, is our 3 chain stitches. So we go into this top chain stitch, yarn over, and we slip stitch. And there we have the end of our corner and of our first row. So this is our first row here, our corners. To start the second round, we need to get our thread to the corner. So the way we do that is quite simply, we go into the next stitch here, yarn over, slip stitch, and then into this top stitch here, yarn over, slip stitch. So that gets us to the top of the corner. Now the next round, which is round 2, is just going to be building on our foundation of double crochet, and we're going to just complete every single stitch in double crochet. Now we have our hook at the top of the corner. Now what we're going to do, we're on the right side of the corner. We're going to do 3 chain stitches. We're going to do 1 double crochet. So that's the right side of the corner looking at it. 2 chain stitches to give us a loop which goes over the top, and 2 double crochets. So there is our corner, and we're now going to complete this round in double crochets, 1 into each stitch, the same at each corner. And when we get to the end, I'll show you how we just finish our last double crochet here and then a slip stitch into there. So let me continue with this row. It is a long blanket, so to go all the way around here, it does take some time. And again, I will meet you when I get to the end of the round 2. So here we are at the end of the second round, and this whole round has been just plain double crochet. Into the very last stitch. And then we just slip stitch into this 3 chain stitch at the top. And there we are at the end of the round. Now again, we need to get ourselves to that opening. So we go into the next stitch here, slip stitch, and into the center of the corner, slip stitch, and we're now ready to start round 3. Our third round is going to consist of all single crochets. So what we're going to do is, to start this third round, we do 1 chain, and then we do 2 single crochets into the corner, and this will be how we do each corner, 3 single crochets, and then all the way down here will consist of single crochets. So I'm going to continue this round, the third round, in single crochets. When I get back to the end here, I will then link this corner with a slip stitch. I'll see you then. Here we are at the end of round 3, single crochet into every stitch. And at the very end, after the last stitch, we go into this first stitch of the corner and we do a slip stitch. So that is now the end of row 3. We are now ready to start our 4th round, and this is when it starts looking like the lace stitch. So what we do is we begin at the corner. I'm going to show you what we do and then I'm going to explain it. So we begin with 4 chain stitches. We do our 2nd double crochet into the space because the first is the chain and a chain, 3rd double crochet, and a chain, and 4th double crochet. So we have 4 double crochets in the corner and they are separated by a chain. So the first 4 chain stitches was 1 double crochet and the chain. So that's 1 double crochet chain, 1 double crochet chain, 3rd double crochet chain, and the 4th double crochet. That is how each of our corners is going to look. We're then going to begin our V pattern in the rows. So each corner will look like this. Our V pattern is as follows. We skip 2 stitches, so we've got 1 here and then a 2nd one, and then the 3rd one we do a double crochet, a chain, a 2nd double crochet into that same space. This is what we call a V stitch. So the V stitch is 2 double crochets separated by a chain into each space. We then skip the next 2 stitches and go straight into the 3rd stitch, double crochet, chain, back into that same space, double crochet. So there is no chain between these, but those stitches have replaced the stitches we've skipped. So skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, into the 3rd stitch, double crochet, chain, into the same, we go back into that same space and double crochet. So I'm going to continue along this row. When I get to the corner, I do those 4 double crochets separated by a chain stitch, and I'll meet you at the end of round 4 where I slip stitch the corner together. So there's the start of our V stitches with a chain stitch between the 2 double crochets, but there's no chain stitch where we go from one to the next. So here we are at the 2nd corner. Here's our 1st corner of row 4. So we started at this corner. We're now at the 2nd corner. Let me show you this V stitch again. So we jump 2 stitches and we go into that stitch, double crochet, chain, back into the same stitch, double crochet. Now it is important when we get near the end that we balance this out so we get to the corner. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then there's that. So what we can do is we can actually do this 1, 2, skip into the 3rd. We do a chain and another double crochet for the V stitch. Now we need to get into that corner and we need to make our chain there. And because we have 2 here and center, we need to balance it on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over into this corner, because that's what we did with the other corner, and we do a double crochet. We then do one chain, so that's one double, one chain, second double crochet, second chain, third double crochet, third chain. So we've got our 3 double crochets with the chain in between. We've done one chain, and we're going to do our last and 4th double crochet into the corner. What we need to now do is yarn over, and we need to again, because we skipped 2 on this side, we need to balance it. So we've got 1, 2 into the 3rd stitch, double crochet, chain, back into that same stitch, and we have our double crochet. So there is our corner. There's our second corner, which we've balanced. I'm going to continue all the way down here to the next corner until we finally get back to the first one, which is this one here, and I'll meet you there when we join the last corner. At the end of the 4th row, we are going to complete the V-stitch, which we started on this row. So you jump 2 stitches, double crochet, chain, and another double crochet into the same space. The last V-stitch, we're now going to go into this stitch here, no chain or connecting. We just go into the top of our 3 chain stitches here, like that, and we do a slip stitch. So there we are at the end of row 4. We're now ready to begin our 5th row. The 5th row is going to be a repeat of this V-stitch going into these spaces. So if we look at the previous corner, those are the 4 stitches, the chain and the 3 double crochets. So we need to make the corner this part here. So to get to there, we do slip stitches. So we go into this stitch here, slip stitch, and we go into the center stitch here, slip stitch. We're now in the corner, so we're going to do the same corner as we did for the previous row, which consists of 4 chain stitches, which is considered a double crochet and 1 chain. Then into that same space we do a second double crochet, shift them along, and a chain, a third double crochet, and a chain, and our 4th and last double crochet. So here's our corner, and we make sure that these spaces are running in a line. So we've got our 4 chain stitches, one of them being the chain, the other 3 being the double crochet, chain, double crochet, chain, double crochet. We then start the 5th row on the length by doing a V-stitch in between. So here we have our V-stitches, and here we have the space between the V-stitches. And as before, we count 2 that we're going to skip. We go into this space and we do 1 double crochet, 1 chain, and the second double crochet to create the V. Yarn over, skip 2 so we know we're going into the space. 1 double crochet, 1 chain, and second double crochet. So there's our second row of V-stitch. It's our 5th row. We're doing 6 rows in total. I'll continue with this 5th round and I'll meet you when I get to the end here and when we connect it to the corner. On the 5th round, we're now at this corner. I want to show you how I do this corner. So we know that at this point, we need to do 4 double crochets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this space here, and I'm going to do a V-stitch, which is a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet. And then I'm going to go into this corner by doing 4 double crochets separated by a chain each one. So there's 1 double crochet and a chain, second double crochet and a chain, third double crochet and a chain, shift them along, and the 4th and last double crochet in this corner. So there's my corner. What I now need to do is just go straight into that stitch, and that will balance it nicely. So each corner you may have to look at each corner separately so that you balance it. And we do our V-stitch into this space, and when we look at the corner, we can see we have this balance here and we have 1 on each side. So that would be how we would manage that corner. We're at the end of row 5 with our V-stitch. We continue down this row. We can see we need to go into this stitch here, so we've balanced our corner. Now we're going to go into, and remember that's a chain, so it's going to look slightly different, but we've balanced with the 4 double crochets. We're now going to slip stitch into the top of this chain, which is a double crochet, and we're just going to slip stitch. So here we are at the end, and then we just need to get ourselves to this stitch, so we can go in here and do another slip stitch, and then there's the 4 double crochets. We go into this stitch, which is the corner, and we do a slip stitch. So here we are now ready for the final row, row 6, sitting in the corner. So the 6th row and the final row, we're doing a pattern called a shell pattern. So we're going to start here, And we're going to complete the corner as we always do, so that when we get to the end we just do a slip stitch to connect it to the row. We begin with 3 chain stitches. That is our first double crochet. Then we make 2 more double crochets into the corner. Three double crochets. Then we're going to make a chain stitch and 3 more double crochets. And a 6th double crochet. And you just need to move them along to get them in the corner. So there we have our 3 double crochets, a chain and 3 double crochets, and you can see that makes a slight raise in it. Then the next we need to do is we go into here and we make a single crochet, and that pulls it down. We then skip 2 stitches and we're going to make 6 double crochets into this space. So we do 3 double crochets, a chain and 3 more double crochets. Three double crochets, chain, 2 double crochets, 1 more double crochet, and you can see we're really packing the stitches in. So the next space, we're always going into these spaces, not into the V. Can you see here? We went on the side of the V. We're doing the same with this pattern. Now we go in here and we do a single crochet. So that's how the edging is now becoming the shell stitch. Here I want to show you how to adapt your corner to suit your handcraft. With this final round, round 6, the corner is where everything comes together. Now, there are two ways to manage the corner. The one is to have multiples of 6 in your row plus 7, which will give you a perfect corner, or to manage each corner individually. I always feel with handcrafts that you can manage each corner individually. There's nothing that says it has to be done a certain way. Let's take this corner as an example, and each corner will be different. So here we need to finish off the shell pattern, we do a single crochet. Now the way the pattern works is we should be doing the shell pattern into here and then finishing the single crochet in the corner, but that will give it a strange corner. And we want the corners to all look like this corner where you have a full shell pattern. So what I'm going to do now, because it's not going to fit perfectly, I'm going to do half a shell pattern into this corner, which means I'm going to do 3 double crochets instead of 6 double crochets into this corner. And I'm then going to finish off the shell pattern into the same corner with a single crochet. Now the only ruling that I would say is that it has to match on this side. So we're now going to go into the corner and we'll do 6 double crochets. So here's our corner. We can see we've got 2 double crochets and 2 double crochets, and there's space in the middle. So we're going to do our shell pattern into the corner, which is 3 double crochets, a chain stitch for the top point, and 3 more double crochets. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go, as we did here, we're going to go into this space with a single crochet. Now in order to match the pattern, we need to do 3 double crochets there. So we do 3 more into the same space so that it's symmetrical on the corners. And then we look and see what we did here. We went into this next space with a single crochet. So let's look at that corner. We have a half shell, but we've enclosed it so that it's still scalloped. And then we've got our center. This is how we can make a corner suited to that corner. And if we look at this corner, which isn't, we haven't completed it, but it doesn't look very different. We still have that scoopy scallop at the top, which we have here, and then we have that. So each corner can vary as long as the overall pattern that you're looking at is pretty much the same. But alternatively, if you want to make sure that it all meets, you need multiple of 6 on each side with a 7. So you would need like 36 plus 7 or 60 plus 7 and anything in between. This next corner is the corner we're hoping each corner to be. So let me show you what I mean. We go into this space and we do our shell pattern, 3 double crochets, one chain, 3 double crochets, and we can just check we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what we do is we go into this space here and we do our single crochet, and we're now ready to start our shell pattern on the top. So we then go into the space here at the very top, And once we've completed that, we then match it up on the other side, which is this stitch here, into the space, single crochet. So there we have, and now we will continue with our shell pattern all the way down the side until we get to this corner, until we eventually get to the very last corner, and I'll meet you here at the end. We're nearing the end of the 6th row and the end of the blanket. So let's just do the last few stitches together, shell stitches. And then, just as it balances there, we go into this top last chain stitch, yarn over, and we slip stitch. And there is the end of our blanket, the 6th row. The lace edging we've completed with the 6 rows. And back again. And what I do is when I gift a blanket like this, I tend to give them a little bit of the leftover yarn that's here, so that if anything comes apart, they've got exactly the right yarn. I give them a little bit of each color so they can just weave that back together. My name is Lindy and thank you for watching my channel. If you enjoyed this tutorial on how to crochet a lace edge for your blanket, please be sure to like and subscribe and you'll be notified when my next video is available. Take care and bye.